Okay, people. So, Werewolf by Night has finally come to the MCU. Right? They were talking about this. I mean, they've been talking about a Werewolf by Night film for a while, right? A while. But nothing happened. And then word came, something was coming to Disney Plus. Now, at the beginning, I think we assumed it would be a TV series, but then it was like, oh, it's a TV movie. So it's like, okay, how is this gonna be? Right? So it is directed by Michael Giacchino. Maybe. Right? It is written by Heather Quinn and Peter Cameron. Um, based on the comic books of Roy Thomas, Gene Thomas, Michael G. Plog, and Jerry Conway. The film is produced by Stephen Broussard. It's executive produced by Brad Winderbaum, Kevin Feige, Luis D. Espistio, and Victoria Alonso, and it's co-executive produced by Trevor Walterson. Giacchino also, as well as directing, also handles the music. Cinematography is by Zoe White. Jeffrey Ford edited the piece. Casting is Sarah Finn and Krista Huzar. Production design is Maya Shimagotchi. Lauren Rosenblum handles art direction. Costume design is Maze C. Rubio. And our cast. Well, we have got what order should we do this in? Oh, I mean, the narrator of the piece is Rick D. Wasserman. He narrates like the beginning. Then we've got Ulysses Bloodstone, who everyone is here for essentially, and he is voiced by Richard Dixon. And he is moved by Eric Beck, the puppeteer. So then we have got Verussa Bloodstone, who is played by Harriet Sampson Harris. Elias's estranged daughter, Elsa Bloodstone, played by Laura Dunley. Then we've got our hunters. We have got Javon, played by Kirk R. Thatcher. Azriel, played by Eugene Bondurant. Leon, played by Leonardo Nam. And Brasso, played by Daniel J. Watts. The manservant is Al Hamacha, played by Billy Swan. We've then got a guy, the Flaming Tuber, played by David Silverman. Got another hunter, Jack Russell, played by Gael Garcia Bernal. Man-Thing, aka Ted, who is voiced by Carrie Jones and Jeffrey Ford. So that is it. There's also Ye Nan, played by Cameron Hales. So that's the piece. Now, the gist of the joint is this. Following the death of their fearless leader, Ulysses Bloodstone, a team of elite monster hunters gathers at the towering Bloodstone Manor. It's now time for the trackers, including the cursed aristocrat Jack Russell and the patriarch's estranged daughter Elsa to prepare for a ceremonial hunt to determine who will wield the blood gem, aka Bloodstone, a mysterious alien relic with unfathomable powers. However, as the fragment as the fragment scent of warm, bright red blood fills the air, the masks will fall off, and on a restless moonlit night like this, there can only be one keeper of the sacred bloodstone. Who will take over as the Monster Slayer's new chief? Bum, 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 bum. I have to say, at first, right, when we see Brasso, I was like, oh, is this a little introduction of Blade? Right? Because Blade, he hunts vampires, but he also does hunt monsters. So I was wondering if this was a little way of introducing him, but no, it wasn't Blade. We don't actually get any of their names, they're just greeted. They're hunters. You know what I mean? But straight from jump, because it was only a little while ago that I learned this was a black and white piece, which I thought was going to be interesting, especially when they talked about it being, they're trying to get the vibe of those old horror flicks. So I was like, okay, how is this going to look? And hey, just from jump, right? Like everyone knows by now, the intro to a Marvel joint, right? You've got we see the characters and just all of this. Like it's worked so well. Everyone is now utilizing their own version of it, but all of that's in black and white, and like interspersed we have like claws and monster growls and everything like that, so we know this is monster, right? This is this Halloween special, this is something. And it just opens up and it just feels very like the camera work, the cinematography, it's just the lighting, it really gives you this vibe of creepiness, of the supernatural, just everyone coming in these vast building, vaulted ceilings and large candles and lights. We got monster heads on the wall, just all of this, and it's just everything really does give you the vibe of one of these old friggin' 30s horror flicks, the Hammer and just all of those sorts of things, which, I think it was done perfectly, right? You just got, the acting killed it, right? Everyone just really gives these great performances, the projection of the voices really does feel like, again, these old flicks from yesteryear. So it was really enjoyable, really enjoyable. I know Werewolf by Night, like I've heard of the character, he's popped up every now and again. I thought that Joe Jameson, you know what I mean? I thought his son became Werewolf by Night. I wasn't, I thought that had happened, but I don't think it is. But so I had no clue, right? I had no clue that, there was, who was there. Like the one big thing I had heard was this was going to be the introduction of Man Thing, which, Man Thing looked pretty fucking cool. I gotta say, You know what I mean? Because when you see him in the comics, it's creepy and there's all of that, but it's just like, how would that work, right, on the big screen? Because it could look super goofy, but no, it worked very well. Very well. It just creepy and just everything like that. Everything was styled in a way that just fit, right? Everything seemed to fit. The story is only 55 minutes, but it doesn't feel like you've been robbed of anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's been sped up. Doesn't it, there's no flab on it, right? It doesn't feel like, if only it had been longer. Now, obviously, yeah, you know what I mean? There's bits and bobs that you'd be like, oh, they could have gone into that, they could have gone into that. But what you were given is the perfect introduction to all of this. You know what I mean? That was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable, people. And we do get like a Wizard of Oz, like a little bit at the end, which I thought that's a nice touch. Because I think you are watching this. Like the one thing that I found very difficult to see in the black and white was the markings on Jack's face. Because someone Jovan alludes to, it's like, oh, great makeup. Oh, really? And Jack's like, oh yeah, it's a tribal kind of thing, right? But yeah, I couldn't really see it. Couldn't really see it. So you are wondering, I wonder how this would look in color, right? It looks great in black and white. It really creates that vibe, but it's like, how would this look in color? Because I think in the comics, Eliza's hair's, she's redhead, wears a red jacket. So there's all of these different things, and you just wonder, like, could it work? And yeah, it does. It still does. I was like, this is, yeah. I think any fan of the Marvel universe, right? I think they will look at this and be like, oh, this is fantastic. You know what I mean? I think anyone is gonna just really enjoy what they saw, because it's just handled so well. The pacing, like just this story, right? Bring these monster hunters together and they have to, hunt a monster to see who gets the bloodstone. But it's not just hunting the monster, everyone's fair game. So then it gets super interesting, right? It's just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? How's this all gonna go down? So yeah, it just, there's fun fights, there's action, we see powers, and also the werewolf is interesting, right? Because they don't go completely full wolf, right? There's, sometimes the werewolf, the face will completely change. Now, the body changes and all of that, and the face changes slightly, but it still keeps some humanistic aspects to it. So that was it was very interesting to see the interpretation of the werewolf, you know? But yeah, I'm on board for more of this for sure. I think this new addition, this new corner of the Marvel universe, there's so much to explore. It's so vast, it's so rich. Like when you just think of, as I said, look, like there's Blade, you know. Um, Now there are more, but my mind has gone blank, people. It's completely blank. But yeah, there's so much more in the monster corner. So yes, I mean, there's all the zombies, right? There's vampires, the other monsters. So people, hey, if Werewolf by Night is an introduction, right? Just a touch point, then boy, I'm very much looking forward to see what they have in store. And yeah, it's on Disney Plus. So yeah, if you don't have Disney Plus, people, I mean, hey, it gets a little skeptical. There's so many streaming platforms now, you know what I mean? Which kind of takes away the whole idea of what the streaming was meant to be. But I kind of feel Disney Plus is one that you definitely need if you're, like a fan of animation, if you're a fan of Marvel, Star Wars, you know, National Geographic, right? They've got all this, the 50 by 50, the sports stuff. There's so much on it, so much on it now, So yeah, Werewolf by Night is on Disney Plus, and people, I highly, highly